There are many people today, okay, who do not eat violent food like meat, fish, okay, white sugar, eggs, or whatever, but who still have an unbalanced diet. PT points out that, this unbalanced diet happens especially because people do not understand, it is not being taught, the Ayurvedic humors, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. The Ayurvedic humors are related to the constitution of the body, elements. We are made of elements of nature, the 5 elements of nature: earth, fire, water, air, and the sky, or ether. So we should know how to keep our body in balance, which P is so kind to teach us how to do this with centering the physical body, centering the speech, what kind of actions you do for achieving that, which is Lotus Ocean meditation. So we have to keep our body in balance all the time, as much as it is possible. And but if you do it complete holistic, try to or be vegetarian, speak from the center of the mouth, do your centering as much as it is possible, all these basic things, all right? Connection with elements of nature, which we have done, we'll do even more. So these are the basics. When you do it complete, you evolve in a complete way, all right? Basics such as maintaining, the body posture, and also to be practiced in order for a vegetarian diet to really improve the quality in one's life. So what we eat, right? And let's go to Peace Gita in the page 133. Yes, Agatha is going to read the first paragraph. Okay.
What goes in? Those who cannot even take responsibility for what goes into their mouth cannot be expected to take responsibility for anything else, including their soul.
Very good. Marcin?
They can't be bothered about how the animal was killed, who killed it, how was it kept, what was it fed, what is their relation to it. All they care about is the meat on the plate, which they can gobble up mindlessly, and use that negative tamasic cursed energy for mindless, pointless pursuits. And what to say of those who praise these actions and pursuits?
Yes. Exactly. So P here says very clearly that people, they are not even responsible, for what goes into their mouth, usually. We're going to do these sessions about everyone, okay? We're going to do the sessions for those who are vegetarian or those who are not vegetarian. We're going to explain some things, all right? I know you are mostly vegetarian, but we're gonna tell some things also for other people who are not vegetarian and why maybe it's a good thing to be vegetarian. What are the consequences of not being vegetarian? All right. But for that, it means we should care about the spirit because it has consequences. What we eat in our mouth, what we choose to eat, it has consequences in our body, mind, and the spirit. PT says that people started to eat meat when, the climate turned cold on Earth, when it was impossible, to grow crops. The bad climate came because of people's bad deeds, okay? They went against the divine multiversal laws. So, when you go against the divine multiversal laws, your spirit becomes less, you lose your senses, you do things, bad karmas every day, without the knowledge of the consequence. You forget about that, okay? So in a colder climate, one had to eat meat to survive. But, now, because of the global communication and accessibility, the situation is different. You can find vegetarian food quite easily. So that excuse is no longer valid. Anyone on earth can become a vegetarian if they want to improve the quality of their life. So, people went against the divine multiversal laws, and, bad things happens to them. They could not have, connection with elements of nature. Wars and a lot of stuff came into existence, So there is always consequences of whatever we do. In the Vedic times, it was known. So let's go to the cow. Okay, so I became, for example, myself vegetarian in 2015. The Truth Community and this stuff. So I was following before I met P. I met P in 2018, and it was then I started to know exactly like what to eat, because one doesn't know when one becomes vegetarian. If one doesn't know what to. I didn't know what to eat, to be honest, because you don't know what is good for the body. We don't have the knowledge. School is not teaching us what is good food for you, so you survive in this world in a good way. Of course, they don't tell you about that, so they cannot even tell you about, of course, how to evolve in your spirit. They don't say you have a spirit anyways. So there is so much knowledge that is not taught to us. In the Vedic times, it was known about the cow, okay? 5,000 years and more back, if we go back. And so it was not only in India, it's all the world. Because these witnesses are also in the language, which we're gonna take together. So we'll know more about what we are talking about. And when I say vegetarian, I say all of them, all of the kinds of meat of animals, chicken, because in Norway they say I'm vegetarian, but they eat chicken, fish. So I'm talking about not at all, no fish either. Even though there is a lot of discussed in the family matters. Why not eat fish? Like, okay, meat, but I'm saying all of types to me, okay? And especially the cow or calf, the bull, ox. In the Vedic times, it was very known that the cow, it's not even considered as an animal, but a holy being. And there is a reason for that, right? They were aware of its sacredness, okay? And PT has brought back this understanding to us. Why is that? Because when I was also little, it was most explained that, in India, they like cows. That's it. Nothing more explanations. Why or because of what, etc. I didn't know that. So P has explained it in a very beautiful way. P has explained that as Mother Earth is our mother, as Mother Earth is our mother, which produces all food and provides all resources for survival. And if we survive in our physical body in a good way, we have a chance for evolving in the spirit. So cows, P explains very beautifully, cows are a fractal of Earth. Okay, Bhudevi, Earth is a goddess. Let's bow to Mother Earth. Yes. The cows of a certain area has the same electromagnetic field as of that area where they stand. And PT also explains the galaxy, even the galaxy, the Milky Way, okay, is simply the fractal of a cow also. So it's not just the, the earth. So it's even more. The cow is the supreme among the animals of this earth, and how these sacred beings, the cows, are treated determines the state of the population. Okay, as we see, actually, this is quite practical in today because, if the earth is, the cows are mistreated, the earth is not stable either. Earthquakes and all these natural disasters, earth creates, okay? And, the state of the population and even the wars, maybe who have seen the interview of P with Santos Bonacci, the wars why are wars created? They are just created by the beings who know the divine multiversal laws. And to balance the killing of animals, especially the cows, they have to sacrifice humans for balance. And they organize the wars to counter the balance of killingness. Otherwise, society will collapse. No one will go to work. Everyone will be sick. A big cow. So to maintain the balance, they created the wars. So if we have all of us are vegetarian, it will not be worse. War. For example, in lately, even for like 2000 years ago, around that, Neoplatonists in Greece, actually it's not Greek, they spoke on ancient Albania, which is Sanskrit. So the history is quite corrupted in a way, because these Neoplatonists, they were vegetarian. Leonardo da Vinci, it's not long ago, Plutarch, Porphyry, they were like in the Brahmanic philosophers, Neoplatonists, Pythagoras, all of them, they were vegetarian. So it's not so very, long ago. But why is important not to eat especially, beef or cow meat? Because of course it's like you are going against the divine Mother Earth. But also something else, which I thought I could explain it a little bit now together. For example, in a linguistic way of explaining it, okay? I have done this in many, in Albanian mostly, but some people in English said that, why are you not telling it to us? I've done like 20 videos or 20 something videos just about that. And a lot of people have turned vegetarian, so it was worth it. I'm talking about 1,000 or something, or maybe 2,000. Let's go back, for example, there are many reasons for that. I found it was very clear that ancients, they were vegetarian, and they have also taken this knowledge in the languages, okay? In all the languages of the world. Let's see who has heard maybe the word or the letter in Hebrew, Aleph. Aleph? Have you heard? Yeah. And the first letter, which became Alpha and Omega, Alpha, the first letter, the A, the letter A, okay? I can show you. I think I have it as a picture here. I can share it. Share screen. As you see, Aleph, it is represented by a bull or cow, okay? It's very interesting. So why is that? Aleph is, as you see here, the cow, everywhere is the cow. So you see the letter A, the letter A, or A in some languages, it came from this. So it is actually representing a cow. Cow head, the horns. As you see, you can also check it yourself. But Aleph is the first letter in Phoenician and Hebrew, or Aramaic, or Alaf, or Arabic, Alif. So it's the same, like Alpha, Alif, Aleph. And these letters are also connected to Egyptian hieroglyph depicting an ox head. All right? Why am I telling this? Huh? I am telling this because this is a nice knowledge to get for those who are interested. And this Aleph, it became also I will write some things if it's okay for you. This Aleph, it is in Albanian, lop, it means the cow, lop. Aleph, you know, Aleph, which Alof, Aleph, it's the same thing, okay? So it's alpha. But lop, it means also, is the first letter. It means, you know, what is the first letter? It is of the alphabet. It means sounds, you know, the first sound. So it has to do with the speech, okay? It means the cow, but lopana, it means also mouth, okay? It means mouth. So the cow and the speech is very, very connected. And gau in Sanskrit, it means, you know, the cow, or gau, it's the goddess of earth, Gaia, a Greek, okay? Greek, it means Gaia, Gaia. It's the same thing, it's the same thing. So one word for different things, it means that they had a lot of connection. So earth and the cow and the speech or the voice, it's very, very connected to that. That means that, and gawi means also in Sanskrit the senses, you know, hearing or seeing or logic and the senses, right? And in Albanian also lop, it means the cow, and it means also lap, it means the tongue. So the speech, okay, you see? And also in English, let's go to English, which everyone can. Vacca, or in Italian, vacca or vich, it is the cow or the calf, okay? And we have voice. Voice comes from that in a linguistic terms. So you see the connection with that and the cow, the speech, always. And vaka in Sanskrit means also word to speak, the word, you know. Vaka is a Vedic goddess, personified form of speech, the mother of the Vedas, it is called. And also identified with the goddess Saraswati, you know, the goddess of learning, art, music, wisdom, speech, all of this, you know, which has to do with the sound. So the ancient here, I think also they are trying to say that if you kill or mistreat the cows, you will have problems with your mouth. Maybe in the next birth, a voiceless you who do that, you know, who does that, can be voiceless, dumb, or mute. Okay, you see? So this is kind of a multiversal law, which is lost amongst us humans, but it is in the language. They are telling all the, and everywhere in Norwegian also, grunn, it means the senses, and it means also the earth, and the G, you know, the cow, okay? So, and what I would like to say about that is that the cow is a fractal of earth, as P has explained so beautifully. Let's take the page 132.
Not all right when not right at all. There is a constant, almost lunatic repetition of "it's all right, it's going to be all right" in the so-called West. It's a pathetic impractical joke they play on themselves, 'cause nothing is ever going to be all right in their hell-bound, not right way, not until the way is changed completely.
Yes, very good, very good. Vera, you can continue.
And cows are treated right. Those who mistreat, kill cows, find hell in this life, and experience it in their afterlife too. There is no doubt in that fact. Cow is the very representation of earth. It's the mother principle on this plane. Those who unleash violence against the cow have no right to and will not last on this earth.
Cow is the very representation of earth. It's the mother principle on this plane, right? And this is very, very beautifully explained from P here, and this is so very true. Let's make a bit of again linguistic verifications. Okay, so P says cow is a fractal of earth, which is very true. Let's see if this is true also in languages. For example, you know, I come from Albania. Albania, toka, okay. Toka, it means to the cow. To also in Albania, it means towards, you know. It means to the cow. So ka is the cow here. This means earth. Toka means earth. So you see the cow and earth, it's with the same word. Okay, so this means that they knew about that. And you know, Greek, Gaia, it's not so far away from Albania. It's just under there. And you know, Gaia is a goddess of earth or earth, which is Gao, which is the cow. K, it is changeable. Okay, so you see the earth, the cow again in the language, and all this Gao, which is Sanskrit means cow and earth. And I think even the word go, to go in English, where are you going to go? I think this is also with a Gao. It comes from, you know, and where do you go? Okay, when we say it means which country or which place, which on earth, where on earth you are. Because this Gao is geography, okay, which has to do with land. You know, this Gao you see here is the cow. Geology, all this geology, which has to do with science, which deals with the physical structure of the earth. You know, this geo here, geo is the cow, symbol of the cow. And even if in the pharaoh, okay, the pharaohs, the Egyptian god of earth is Geb. This B is to be. This is Ge. This is Gao. This is Gaia, the cow again. Okay, and he has also the thorns. Hathor is also a goddess depicted as a cow, a major goddess in ancient Egyptian. But that is also from the bull. And Bu Devi is also called Bu Devi, Bu, okay, you know, the bull. You see, so the symbol of a cow or the bull or ox, it is the same. This in Norwegian is also, in Norwegians they don't know, but they don't even want to hear, most of them at least. you know, bakke. So here is also the cow. Bakke, it means territory, the land. So wherever you go, wherever you go in all the places, the cow and the earth is the same because they knew this ancient knowledge, which is Vedic knowledge, all right? And even in astrology, the Taurus, okay, the Taurus is an earth sign. Taurus is represented with a bull, you know, again. So earth, the bull, earth, it is everywhere. And Oxford is like, it's, you know, Oxford, like the words in ox, like, which is a fraud, which P has explained very beautifully in Pilogs. But anyways, Taurus is always represented by the bull, okay? The bull. And this is also la terra, we call it in Italian. La terra, which means earth. Territory also come territory from this one. So the Taurus and the terra. So the bull, earth, again, wherever you go. And the goddess Hathor, which I told you, Hathor, it is, he is the terra. So this is the goddess of, depicted as the cow. Okay, you see? So everywhere you go, Illyrians also, the ancient Albanians, which, because Albanian and Sanskrit is very, very close. Ancient Albanians, they invented the money system for the first time in Europe, like 3,000 years ago. And that the first coin in Europe was a cow. Because they were very respecting, I know, Mother Earth and this stuff before. So it's the cows and the calves. These Illyrians, like in that time, they were very, you know, they were connected to elements of nature. They were more centered. They were vegetarian in that time, not now anymore. But they created, actually, just for you to know, for fun, they created, or they called Italy Vitulus. Okay, Vitulus. And it is called the land of the calves because Vitu means vich, means the calf in Albanian and in Sanskrit. Okay, so, and the land of the, so the land of all Italy, all that place there was called Vitu, so the land of the cows or calves. And later the Greeks, they took the V, okay, so it's called, even now, Italy. So Italy means actually the land of the cows. Not many knows this. And now you know what Italy is, what's come from. Vita, you know, vita, it means life also, but its original comes from the cow. And so these cows and earth, it's everywhere. Other animals also have this, like the lamb, the land, or the goat, it is called Dia, or which means earth again, or Deno, it is in Kamadeno, who has heard the story of the cow, okay, in Sanskrit. In the Bhagavad Gita, the song, which is called the Song of Divine Gita, the song, and a very ancient Vedic text of epic poem Mahabharata, that says there something like this. Okay, I'm going to show you also with the pictures today, so we have some reference. Okay, for example, this one. So we know what we are talking about, right? That says right this. Right here it says, if one has killed an animal, one must himself be killed by that same animal. Okay, this is called mamsa. Mam means me and sa means eat. As I'm eating an animal, that animal will have the opportunity to eat me in a karmic sequence, right? This is quite ancient, and they had it like in a written form, so it is actually, one can find it even today. So if you eat an animal, you have maybe have to experience being eaten in a karmic cycle. You know, karma means action. Okay, karma means action. The things that you do yourself, as a being does actions in this plane of existence, which is actually the plane of doing actions, Bhumi. And also the word to create comes from this karma. It's this very ancient root, which is also in ancient Albanian. It means exactly the same. It means to do, to create. So we create actually karma every day. And when we do karmas or actions that without knowledge, that become in a way a crime, you know, crime, karma, create, it's just a crime to ourselves, you know, because everyone will experience its own karmas. But it's good to know also that it is also mentioned that a spirit can be thrown in next lives, maybe in Narak, the world of hells, when we learn not to eat meat in a hard way, right? So we can also learn that very peacefully here on earth, if we want that, right? Who has heard about the worlds of hells? Anyone? I didn't know it before. I didn't know it myself. You know, it is called Narak. And if you want to see it, just a little bit of view. Okay, it is like that. Here, the Narak, it is called Narak, world of hells. It's like, you know, the payback. And as I have heard, that is like a hell place where, of course, you pay for the karmas that you did, but I don't think it's even 100 years. Maybe it can be more, maybe 1,000. So it is like a world which the pain is, you know, much longer, much longer. It is, I don't know, do you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. So you see, for example, you know, when we cook meat and stuff, so that is like, so our spirit, it gets, you know, it's a very terrible pictures, I know, but just a little bit to show what the ancients knew, you know. So it's like the spirits like getting consequences of the actions they have done from before, you know. That is when one doesn't know the divine multiversal laws. Okay, that is quite terrible, because one will like get paid with one's own body, because in different worlds we can have different parts of different bodies, okay, for every world. So this is the world of Narak, the hells. It is actually, this was one of the things which I heard in 2015 before I even met P, about this health thing, that if you eat meat and this stuff, that's why I became myself vegetarian, because I come from a country where vegetarianism is like, no, never heard about it. Okay, so that was the first thing which, wow, maybe we can go to hell. Wow, just for eating meat. So better to stop it and to go in a good way, because then you know, then you have knowledge, right? And in page 132, I'm going to read, just because we did last time, but just that you, we're not going to read all of it, just a little bit part of that, okay? For example, with the cows or other animals, but especially the cows, because it's so sacred. It's a sacred being. It's not even an animal. It's not considered even an animal, okay? I'm just gonna read it. You know, nothing is ever going to be all right in their hell-bound, not right way, not until the way is changed completely, and cows are treated right, those who mistreat, kill cows, find hell in this life, and experience it in their afterlife too. There is no doubt in that fact. You see? Okay. So it's very clear. P has made it very, very clear. And this is also ancient Vedic knowledge, which, these things about hells. I mean, who want to go to hell? No one wants. No one wants to suffer. Because when you know, you will be more careful in your actions, right? So knowledge. The knowledge of the consequences is the seer of seers, P says in his book. Because every action has a consequence, all right? So after maybe we die, if we eat meat, we cannot even go to, if we eat meat a lot here on earth in this life, then our vibrations will be so low that we cannot forget about going to higher realms. It's just impossible. But or go to close to higher beings, which every spirit desires, because that is not possible. Okay, maybe especially if beings have mistreated the cows, they will not be maybe accepted either to be born here on earth again, because the mother cow, Mother Earth, they are the same. Cow is a fractal of earth, okay? But there is something which P has also mentioned about the vegetarianism. There is so many cages for animals, all right? And animals, before we kill them or we get their meat and stuff, they are in the cages, or it's a way to own a being. Okay, to go in the cage, you'll be killed. Who asked you about your desires or thoughts? So it's ownership also, right? It's ownership, but no ownership of another being is allowed, because no being can own another being, right? This is a mantra we have done many, many times. The ownership, because animal has a spirit. Each animal has a spirit inside, because anima in Italian means spirit, anima, and for sure in French. And animal means animal, okay? So it is very easy to notice that also animals, they have spirit, they are beings, right? So no ownership of every kind of being, animal, human, whatever, right? We're gonna go to epilogue, which is called the cat and dog people. There is a race on this planet which only regards cats and dogs as sacred animals. Only they are not to be slaughtered. The rest, cow, deer, hen, birds, etc., need slaughtering at the first available opportunity. So only cats and dogs rise to be carnivorous, are worthy of respect. Don't take a genius to figure out the fate of these people. Why love one but eat the other? I thought to share a little bit of that, okay? Because in these days, in this day and age, in this day and age, we eat, the beef or the cow, especially the cow meat, which is very wrong to do, of course. But the dog can boost your ego. You can do things with the dog, but you can also play with the cow. I'm from Tirana, center of Albania, so I'm not so used to see the cows anyways because of the city. But when I went to talking about the cat, nice fractality. P is very fractal. That happens also with another session. I just started to talk about cat and dog and it just came. It's funny. So the dog can, you know, boost your ego. But when I went to a village in Albania, there my best friend comes from there, and they had a lot of dog, cats, cows. I'd never seen cow actually in my life before, to be honest. So that's where I like had my experiences with you know, with the animals. But her mother of my friend, she was very connected to that cow, like emotionally. Like she was, you know, the mother, and she was the, you know, she a female, you know, so she understood very well the cow. I was very surprised in that time. Of course, I was not even vegetarian at that time, but you know, so the cow, the mother principle, it is always there, because the cow, of course, beings can play with cow. I have two people which they are Pushya, and they love very much to play with a cow, of course. But the cow cannot be one's pet. This is the main reason why you know, they desecrate it, or they do not respect, or they taught us to not respect it, like, you know, in these ages and stuff. But the most important thing is also, I'm gonna go also a little bit fast about the whale. Who knew that the whales on the sea, on the ocean, the whales are also the cows of the sea? I didn't know that. P is a genius. And we're gonna share that also just a little bit before we continue with other stuff. There is so much. Okay, whale, you know, la balena, whale, the cow of the sea. It was very surprising for me when I was reading this, actually. The whale, the cow of the sea, even a harmless mammal which is not getting in any way, is still being hunted and slaughtered by crazy creatures on this planet, in a world where even harmless cows are being slaughtered. The West, steeped in its double standards, doesn't see any correlation between the two. Despite the similarities being blindingly obvious, they can't derive any joy from the existence of these beings. They can only think of killing and consuming. What they don't realize is that they are only losing their soul in the process. Okay? P explains it very well also. So the cow, you know, the big animal, like, you know, it's like a female energy. Both the cows in the land or the whales. The whales, they are big and they are holy. I think the word whale is connected to holy, or a whole, big, all of it, all the earth. Biologically, we are not made to eat meat. When the Creator created us as a being, you know, also the body, the physical body, not only the spiritual bodies, but the physical one, it was not made for eating meat since the beginning, because, you know, it is a law of nature. In Europe, mostly we are just born in non-vegetarian families. And unfortunately, the cow is in Balkan the most favorite meat, unfortunately. So when I became vegetarian myself, actually after I learned about the health and stuff, then it was enough. Like, what? And I never liked like the meat. When we are children, when we are small children, we don't like meat so much. Most of the children, they don't like, it's natural, because they have experience from the life before, so they remember a little bit more, better than, you know, when you're growing up, and, you know, these potato chips when you have a salad around, and it's became like, you know, and grilling that. So children, they remember more from the past life, a little bit more, not all of that, and they have suffered because of meat eating. So actually, in their intuition, they don't like that. They are smart. But of course, in the kindergarten, for example, when I was a child,
Yes.
eat it, it's a protein. You're gonna be strong. Eat it. I mean, who was asking? Just, yeah. Protein. So I became vegetarian in 2015 myself, and I am for being vegetarian. So no vegan. Okay? I have many friends here that they are vegan, but they are quite problematic. Their health, they can suffer because of you need the protein from the lentils or from other things, which we're gonna talk about in our when we'll come there. So no meat, no chicken, no fish, no bacon, no bird's meat, no wild, not soft bird, whatever. Especially the cow meat, which we have talked about, the beef, right? Or the calf. Humans cannot digest meat, and their vibrations will become heavy, acidic, tamasic. They will be very, very heavy. And P said that in the interview, he said that, they will give meat to the beings in which were going to go to the war so that they could lose the war. Too much vibrations, too much meat, you cannot even fight. If you compare to the others who are vegetarian, sharpest and all of these things. So meat is not good at all, of course. And so humans have a long intestine, so the meat will remain in the human's intestine for a long time. And it causes imbalance, disease, okay? This is lack of ease, okay? I have actually a picture here for that. So humans, we have a very long intestine. It takes months sometimes to, or maybe years. If you open our, stomach, you will see, for example, here, it's a human intestine. I don't know if you see it. A human intestine and, some other animal. So you see human intestine is thick, it's long, it takes a lot of time to digest the food, the meat. So it will become very heavy for us. It's not natural, because animals can eat meat of other animals. They have incision teeth, okay, like so they can digest meat. But animals have short intestine, they can digest. Natural law says that an animal which has emotions, feelings, should not be eaten, okay? Animals, as I told you, come from anima. So animals, they have spirit, they have emotions, they have thoughts. Also, kafsh, it means in Albanian, kafsh, it means has a spirit. It's very, very clear, but they do not understand it, of course. And we can imagine what does the animal go through in a slaughterhouse: hatred, anger, fear, pain, violence, and then death, okay? And after that, it comes into our plate, and we call it protein, healthy, by ignorance, okay? It is a cursed energy that will for sure bring bad karmas, which we're going to pay anyways, we want or not. Universe works with balance, because now we have a choice. We can be vegetarian, we can easily get food which is vegetarian. Of course, we need some knowledge what kind of food is good to eat, because when I become vegetarian, I didn't know what to eat. I just pasta, pizza, different thick things. You can get weight of that. About lentils and stuff, for example, I didn't even know that it was good. But now we have a choice, and which is, natural, because Earth produces a lot of food which we can get, which is not, we don't need to eat or kill the animals. But people should be aware also that the animals, the meat they eat, it's full of steroids, hormones, antibiotics they inject into the animals. which is really bad for our bodies, very, very bad, besides the karma. And also the stress hormones that the animals excrete, you know, when in their bodies, when they have this fear of death, that is also, we eat it when we eat the meat. When we cut, so of course, the cutting and the killing is very, you know, we just lose a little bit of our skin and stuff. It comes a lot of blood and we are scared. Wow. Okay. So you can imagine when they get cut, like, it's terrible. It's terrible. There are 3 categories of food: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic food. All right. Sattvic is the best, of course, the vegetarian, Brahmanic food, which we suggest, and we will talk about that also. But the more animal flesh you eat, the more tamasic you become, okay? And you cannot evolve if you eat meat, and you cannot even open your lowest chakras or chakra. Forget about the other, but the lowest one. It is impossible to activate or to purify it by eating meat. It is impossible. Okay, so that means that we will devolve when we eat meat. Get a disease, of course, with age, it becomes even worse, encounter many psychological problems, because the food will have the consequence in our body, mind, and spirit. P has made a very good video, for sure you have seen it, the first one. He says that if you go, for example, in a supermarket and you buy meat and you eat it, there will become no penalty about that. No police is going to come you and say, hey, you bought meat, now you're going to go to prison. No one cares, of course, because the more the meat you eat and the more animals are killed, the more you will be in this prison, the longer. So it's good for them. And the no harm will come by the system, the government, of course. But the multiversal laws are very different. For the same action, eating meat, the judgment from the divine multiverse, from the multiversal laws or from the multiverse, will be very different. Okay, you go in hell, in Narak, the consequence. For example, when we break the divine multiversal laws, we are always in trouble. And if a being doesn't want to find out about these laws, which is also the meat eating, it will go into the hell, pain and torture. When we eat food, what happens? When we eat food, we get energy. The proper food will help us. When we eat the right food, which we're going to talk about, what kind of food we should eat, so we can maintain a good energy, right? So the proper food that will help us, it is going to balance our 3 humors or doshas in Ayurvedic, and life forces, okay, which is called in Ayurveda Vata, Pitta, Kapha. As you see, you know, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So the Vata, which is a lot of ether, air element, Pitta, fire. So always, it is always important to balance it. How do you balance this? You can balance these doshas, which everyone has its own. We are different. Everyone is different. We can balance this through eating the right food also. Okay, so you see, as here, it is called also a dosha. Yeah, this is just to show a little bit. But anyways, we learn here in Lotus Social Meditation that we have to balance us as much as it is possible through the right food, okay, through having a proper centered posture, through eating and repeating, as we already spoke about, and also eating, but the right food and speaking the right things, okay? After we center our physical body and our speech, and we will learn also more and more how to connect with elements of nature in praxis. how to do it when you also have nature responses and so many other things, but you know, through centering. And then we understand even more about the balancing of these three humors. So it will be a holistic thing, okay? Holistic thing, it means you do centering, you eat the right food, you say the right things, you do what universe expects you to do. So when we eat food, we produce this fire, the energy, because you have to digest, you know, the food. And if you have a bad digestion, you can increase the fire element through spices, or, you know, you have a person and which he has inside, as everyone has, okay? You have the left side, right, which is the moon, okay, Ida Nadi. And you have also, it is called Ida Nadi, the lunar, the moon side energy in our body. And you have also the right side, Pingla or Pingala, right? We need to balance these two channels, these energies in us. In India, they make a very good roti, flatbread. That is also solar food. So when it is cold, or even in the evening, you know, you don't have the sun, so it's cold, you have to eat something warm, solar, good, warm, to keep the balance. A simple picture here, you know, with a flat bread, you keep some atta or wheat flour like this, and you can see on videos and stuff. So it is called roti. This is typical solar food. And people today, they become vegan, okay? Spirulina, goji berries, breatharian, pescatarian. You can find a lot of stuff going on because we don't know what is basic, proper diet. Today, we are going to continue with a epilogue, which is called mouth. Okay, we're going to see the epilogue, which is called mouth, which is quite cool. Okay, written by Prashant Trivedi. It is on internet. All his epilogues are on internet for free. Called mouth. The same mouth which opens quite fine for eating food freezes when it comes to opening it for praising higher divine, or the elements which provide that food. After such evil weakness, they expect knowledge, happiness, peace, bliss to dawn upon them. Crazy. Welcome back. Peace.
Butterfly definitely are coming with us to this session. So he is staying.
And it's staying. It's not going away. That's impressive. Peace magic. The 4 balanced vegetarian foods, the 4 pillars are lentils, the first one, okay, lentils, dals, beans in all the colors of the week without meat. Of course, we talk about vegetarian food here, as mostly Lotus Ocean students, even though they were not, they have become. Lentils, 1, vegetables, locally available, like onion, potato, carrots, salads, herbs, roots, all of this, the 2. Okay, so the 3rd is, you know, the rice. Rice pilaf. The rice, it's very easy to cook, everyone knows. Cook it with water. Okay, rice is, we have talked about this, rice is a lunar food. Don't eat it after the sunset. Okay, so because we have to balance the solar and the lunar. So rice is the 3rd. The 4th is grains. I have it here, the grains. You see it, right? So you can harmonize yourself with the energies of nature by eating the right food that will give you a holistic evolution. Eating the right food and having the centering, speaking praises to divine or to nature, repeating the mantras, which we have done together, concentrating on higher evolutionary things, putting your attention. So all of this means evolution in a holistic way, which P explains very beautifully. So we have to balance it by doing also grounding, by having the right food. If you eat meat, which mostly do, unfortunately, but through P's grace, very many people are becoming vegetarian. But when you eat meat, you become a very your vibrations get very low. And it is because you need to use so much energy to digest the food of meat. You will be more lazy. The mind will be really, really mind programmed. You cannot recognize what is the truth, what is that, especially in these days we live now. It is an urgency to get this, to become centered. It is, otherwise it will be more and more difficult, as we already see it. So when we, especially if we eat meat, we become more lazy. It's you don't have energy, very hardly energy to function. No vitality, vita, la vita, vita in Italian. Illyrians, they created Italian, they call it Vitulus, the land of the cows, if you remember. So they knew it. When we don't eat meat, when we are vegetarian, and if you do the centering, praising, bowing, serving, or at least you are trying to repeat the mantras, so it will be easy for you. You will not get mind programmed easily. Okay? Because the meat, alcohol, you know, alcohol, P saying that it was used just for a little bit as medicine, just tiny. But today, people misuse it, of course, today on many, many centuries, actually. Let's go to a P log, which I will share. It is called progress. Progress. Earlier, they used to have meat and alcohol in caves. Now they have it amidst concrete. Sure signs of progress. So they used to have meat and alcohol in caves or in prison or in people in earlier. So meat and alcohol was very low type of food. Today we use it in parties, in all the countries. If you don't have meat, you don't know what to cook. You see the difference of today and earlier. Earlier, it means, you know, in the golden ages, in better ages that we are now. So you see how the taste and the culture has changed, okay? But the cave is symbolized also the matrix we are in a way, so we are not so free. And Piti comes from a Brahmanical family, okay? And his family has been vegetarian for more than 5,000 years. So his genes are very clean, very pure. And when we are not eating meat, at least in the diet, we are also very open for learning. You digest the knowledge that you get, you digest it. Your discrimination is better. You can see the difference between you, for example, and another one who is really a non-vegetarian who doesn't want knowledge and is suffering or something like that. You also get grace in your body when you do all these basic things, but also the meat has to do a lot. Otherwise, you will have I have seen actually lately some even kids, children, they have become vegetarians. One of them was like screaming all the time before, and now it's like not screaming at all and quiet. Vibrations, they are completely changed just in few months. You can imagine if you do it all live. So the meat, as we have discussed, it brings just us in health, because we cannot even purify if we eat meat, we cannot even purify the lower chakra. Forget about. So evolution and all these things, it's impossible with the meat eating. And we're going to be programmed with meat eating to, you're going to be programmed that this is good to do. And so the hell is good. Going down deeper to hellish situations in life. Today, there are many different available forms of not eating meat. And because the meat, when we eat, it goes into our intestines. We have a long intestines in comparison to animals. So it will be there for many days, many months. And it will make your life hell internally. And it will affect your mind. And it makes you more tamasic. It's not good for the system at all. It's here, for example, in this one. You see the roti, okay? And probably this is the dal, lentils. And you see vegetables or and some spicy stuff. For example, this is one example, right? And here you see roti, you see the rice, you see solar and lunar, the soup, and some other stuff too. And so a proper diet, a simple vegetarian diet, is part of the Vedic lifestyle. So it is Vedic, all this centering, eating the right food. That is what it is very important to start evolution if one desires to evolve in its spirit. So, you know, when you eat very nice food, for example, when our mothers or parents make when we are children, and that taste one remembers very well. So when you eat tasty food and proper food, that is delicious and it will go to your mind. It will affect everything we eat, affect our mind and spirit directly to the spirit. You know, when we eat meat or animals that are cut and destroyed and killed and they have suffered so much, that goes inside of us. That will remain there until it's a bad karma. And I remember I told you about the cow, especially it's the cow. It's fractal of earth, so it is when we eat, especially the cow, the beef. Unfortunately, here in Norway, a lot. And when they do that, it means that you are against Mother Earth. You are an earther, and in the eyes of universe, you are not seen as an earther anymore. So we're going down, 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 which means devolution, suffering, bad stuff, bad karmas, okay? Of course, all animals, but the cow is sacred, the calf. Those who ate meat before, I have many people who say it's not tasty anymore. Some, okay, it's not tasty or whatever. The people who change to not to meat, to non-meat, to vegetarian, they should develop the taste in the diet. P says. What does that mean? That means that we should get, of course, more knowledge about some recipes with spices and stuff, which gets very, very delicious. But we have to develop the taste with our own efforts, because taking care of the body is the number one. Maybe you saw the video of P, taking care of the body, of your health, and then dealing with others. It's the number two, and the three is, you know, meditation and all the evolution stuff you do. So the food is also here in the one, taking care of the body. You know, talking about meat and animals and stuff, because animal means anima, anima in Italian. It means spirit, a being, spirit. Anima, it means a spirit. Animale, it means an animal. So animal has spirit inside. So it suffers, it has emotions. Like us people, we have emotions. Like if something happens to your children when the cows get the calves, and it cries also. So it has emotions. All animals, they have. That's why they make sounds, sometimes of joy, and when it's gone bad, it is not joy, it is suffering. So if people kill or hunt the animal itself, cut it, that it's another different. A human being, actually a normal human being, cannot do that. It is impossible, because naturally human beings are not created to eat the flesh of animal. It's biologically, okay? And Earth is giving us so many types of food, the grains, the solar food, the vegetables, the fruits, all of that. And for what? So that we can also improve our senses. Okay? Senses improves. We have 5 elements in nature: earth, air, water, fire, sky. Okay, the 5 elements of nature, they are connected to our 5 senses, because we humans, we are made of nature, elements of nature. But if these elements of nature are not in balance, we're going to have problems always. And the 5 elements of nature are connected to the 5 senses. Okay, so you get better sense, you get better taste, a better life when we do the right things, which Piti is teaching us all the time. Vedic is timeless, natural sense. Peace talked about this in one of the interviews. I mean, we in Europe, we don't have knowledge of what is food, what is Vedic food. So it's not easy. Okay. Do you have any question?
I would just like to share a few things since I'm from India, and you know,
Yes,
about the
please.
foods. So the roti that you mentioned, it has another name. It's also called fulka, with a P, Phulka, fulka, and you can look that up on YouTube. It's the same method that we use to make roti. It's the same thing. It's just a different name for it. So
Okay.
starting with P, I thought I should mention that. And also the upma that you showed, that's a breakfast food, and poha is also breakfast food. I had upma in the morning today for breakfast. So yes, so that basically they add broken wheat semolina. That's the basis
Yes,
of
semolina,
upma.
yes.
Semolina. Yes. And yeah, I mean, that's something I would wanted to share. And also the paratha. So it's an upgraded version of the roti, where mostly you either have a plain paratha where they add oil or ghee and they fold the roti and they make it, or you have the stuffed paratha like the aloo paratha, which is stuffed with the potato, or they use different vegetables to stuff the dough with, like you can use cauliflower or cabbage or carrots,
Root
pea,
vegetables.
yes,
Yes.
onions. So, you know, different things can be used, mixed along with spices, and then stuffed in the dough and then rolled. So,
Very
yes,
nice.
there's a lot of variety. Like you never get bored of the vegetarian food.
Yeah, because they know it very well. They are experts, like, and I also in other countries, like for example Albania, the more you go in the villages, the more you see that very good vegetarian food. Cities are, my goodness, you know, today. So very nice. So this was just for today, just showing like simple basic things. But we in Europe, we need a lot of help in I mean, even in simple like roti, upma, this breakfast, just to get some good energy. Even that we don't know. I'd be so kind to spread that all over in Europe or all over the world. And because of P in Lotus Social Meditation, students, like hundreds, they have become vegetarian.
I had another question, Afrodita. What
Yes.
about veganism? That's also becoming very popular. What does P have to say about veganism?
Yes, veganism, it's not so very good because vegan, they don't eat, cow, dairy, not milk or cheese and this stuff. So actually they can become more sick because you need the protein from dairy. It is important. They become, veganism, fructarian. They eat only fruits and not cheese, not that. Like it's not healthy actually. So it's a big difference between vegetarian and veganism. That's a very good point. I have many friends who are vegan. They have some problems. So veganism, it's not so good to me. I love butter. I don't know how can I exist without butter. It's impossible. Milk is not good anyways, like the industry and stuff, but the butter is oil.
Me too. I love the butter.
Cheese also I like, to be honest. Okay, that's like I cannot deny it. And so actually it's good to eat all without meat as a first when we become vegetarian. Okay, very nice. Then we are finished with the vegetarian session.